Hello, bros, and welcome to SFX0, Bro Production, and next part of Sakura Alien 2. So, I think we're just gonna jump in where we left off. We got into where Ina works with baking bread. Here are your freshly baked loaves of spelt bread. I never heard the word spelt. At least not spelled like that. They are only just come out of the oven. I hope they are to your liking. Thank you very much for your patronage. It is much more appreciated. Oh, weird thing to say something. Now wraps the loaves of bread up in a paper bag for her customer, then hands them over with a bow. The customer hands in some money in turn, which she slots deftly inside the cash machine. Ina exchanges some pleasantries with the customer for a few moments, a sheer smile upon her face until they take their leave. Once Ina's finished with this interaction, I step up to the counter, then wave at her. Hey there, how are you doing? Oh darling, didn't see you. It's nice of you to come and visit me. Ina's eyes light up to see me, and her smile, which was already wide, grows wider still. Ina looks so happy she is positively glowing. She is adorable, though part of me does think that I like to see you dressed like that too, Professor Sakura might look good. Well, if I would choose between them two of who I want to see dressed like that, well, I would like to see Hiyori dressed like that. Hiyori mightn't be as striking as Ina. Her hair and her eyes are decently ordinary, but I love to see her in a frilly get-up like Ina's. I think it'd be pretty refreshing. Regardless of who else might look good in that maid outfit, however, the fact remains that it suits Ina to a T. Seeing her eases the worst of the tension in my breast, which was there since my talk with Professor Sakai. When I'm with Ina, I feel like I can relax. I've been doing well, thank you, darling. The store has been so very busy today, I've been rushed off my feet. Doesn't that get tiring? It can, yes, but I welcome the work. I always enjoyed interacting with you Earthlings. Your race is such a curious one. You are very polite in the whole, and you often have interesting stories to share with me. Well, she hasn't seen the corporal world, I would believe. There are a lot of people that ain't nice. But disrespect, according to me, is the worst. I mean, I've been in a fight. I've been pretty much in heated interactions at work when a person that is in a leadership position didn't show me any respect whatsoever. And that's not okay by me. I mean, I have a list that I still have saved on my phone with everything they did wrong in the workplace, which I would have given to their boss to get them fired. But thing didn't really play out like that, but I still have the list because I think that list can become useful in the future. I like talking with my customers, but that seems to annoy my manager. He sometimes scolds me for being too talkative. I think it's nice to take an interest in other people's, though it's only polite. Do you not agree with that? There are merits of getting to know your customers, sure. But I can imagine it causing problems if your chatter starts holding people up. That does happen from time to time. My customers don't often complain. They say I am too cute to be mad at, but I'm aware it is an issue. I had to put my charger into my phone. After trying to rectify it, it is so hard to go against my nature though. You can do it, Ina. I believe in you. I give you now a thumbs up. I bet you're the main draw to this bakery in the first place. People would be flocking from all over the place to see you. You really think so? I'm certain of it. You look great in that outfit. Who wouldn't want to be served bread or pastries by you? Why, thank you, darling. I'm flattered. You certainly know how to perk up my spirits. I, too, am very fond of this attire. It is most different from the clothes I wear upon Corval. Ina takes hold of the frilly skirt between her fingers and flutters it. In Corval, we favor skin-tight attire, but this is very loose and fluttery. It is not very practical, but sometimes prettiness is more important than practicality. If you like this outfit all that much, perhaps I should ask my manager if I can bring it back home. I could wear it for you around the apartment if you would like. We could do all kinds of fun things in it. All kinds of fun things, she says. Now I wonder what that entails. I'm being blessed with all manner of mental images right now. But no, this is harder the time. I didn't stop by to see Ina so I could flirt with her. Something important to discuss with her. It's a kind of sudden, but we are not going to the astronomy club today. That's why I stopped by to pick you up. I thought we could walk back home together. Oh? Ina blinks. Have today's activities been suspended? They have, yeah. I'm sorry for the short notice. Kind of sudden. Oh, that's quite alright. It is possible to have too much of a good thing or so. I have heard we can always go stargazing at a later date. Something the matter though. Ina peers at me from behind the counter, her eyes soft and concerned. It looks like there is something on your mind. You can tell? Of course I can. You are so very close to me, darling. I know your face just as well, if not better, than mine own when I look into the mirror. I can detect your every shift in emotion, no matter how subtle it might be. I would not be able to call myself your fancy if I was not capable of at least this much. Whoa, I guess that's impressive. I pause. But that is given when we're going to get married. We're still too young to think about the future. We might be too young now, but that's only temporary. We all age eventually, and when we do, I would like to be. I like to do so by your side. Well, thanks, Ina. I'm glad. I smile at her. For the present, however, I do have something serious to discuss. I received some pretty worrying news today. Oh dear, what news? I'll tell you later when we get back to the apartment. Speaking of which, take my phone out of my pocket and glance at the time. It's almost 16:30, which marks the end of Ina's shift. Shouldn't you be finishing up now? Oh yes, you're right. I'll go get changed now, then we can walk back together. I was looking forward to going stargazing, but I'm not at all opposed to spending more time with you, darling, no matter how serious your expression might be. Ina ducks out from behind the counter, then presses a quick fleeting kiss to my cheek. I like Hiyori a lot, but I like you too. Here's Ina's voice drops to a sensuous whisper. And sometimes, I must confess, I don't feel like sharing you. Being with you has made me an awfully selfish girl. Yeah, sometimes that's a matter if you can't choose someone. So what's the problem, darling? positioned this question to me as soon as we returned to our apartment, all wide-eyed innocence. My conversation with Professor Sakai has been weighing on me all day, and I'm relieved at the thought of finally relaying the news to Ina. I guess there's no sense stalling for me. I sighed and shrug off my coat and takes a seat upon the tatami mats. Ina sits beside me, cross-legged, her long hair curling in wispy tendrils on the floor. She looks obedient and perfectly plain, like a little kid in an assembly hall. There's something so sweet about Ina's guideline. Well, I don't know how to read that now. Yeah, I'm no idea. Countenance. I'm loath to cause her any upset, but that might, I fear, be inevitable. This is about Professor Sakai. Her again? Wrinkles her nose. Been talking about her rather a lot recently, darling. You should consider yourself fortunate that I'm not the jealous type, as I might take offense hearing you speak about another woman so. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that. I don't want to talk about her all the time either, believe me. I don't, but this is pretty serious. How so? It's a bit of a long story, but, well, I frown. I could tell you now about the inappropriate things I did with Professor Sky in her office, but I don't think she needs to hear about it. I don't want to think about it either. I guess I won't mention that in my briefing. Yeah, things didn't plan out the way I planned either, so yeah. Instead, I cut to the chase. To give you a brief summary, I think she's suspicious of you. Of me? I nod. I mentioned that she's been staring at you when we went stargazing on the roof. Yes, I recall your warning. You told me to be careful, and I really have been trying. I would not want to worry you, darling. I know you wouldn't. You're a good girl, Ina. You've not done anything wrong. Aside from her worrying habit of calling us humans earthlings, which hasn't abated. Well, fine, so if you identify yourself as a human. I mean, if she doesn't identify herself as humans, which means you call other people humans. Which hasn't abated. But Professor Kai is closing in on us. She asked me to go to her office earlier today and she gave me quite the ultimatum. She told me to tell her if I was keeping it a secret from her about the astronomy club's members. I guess yours included in that equation, but I think her real point of interest is you. She didn't say it outright, not in so many words, but I'm certain she is aware that there's something unusual, shall we say, about you. Then you think she knows I'm an alien? I think she might be toying with the idea, yes. I doubt she has any concrete proof of this, but she's trying her best to find some. She even threatened me, What? Oh no. What did nasty woman say to you, darling? She said if I didn't play along with her schemes, she'd get the astronomy club disbanded and she'd get me expelled. I only got a week to decide what to do. If I dallied too long, she set her plan into motion. She said she was willing to destroy my future over this. It's no laughing matter. I rather agreed that this does not sound funny at all. What are we going to do, darling? You can't let that woman beat you. I know how passionate you are about your study. You're always pouring through those dense, confusing textbooks of yours, and you know so much about the stars. You dream of becoming a scientist and working at JAXA? That's not something I heard. But I've been through that this story has changed the name said before to not get any lawsuits. So I guess JAXA is supposed to be NASA. I mean, that's a long fetch anyway. If you get expelled from university, your dreams will be shattered. It doesn't seem at all fair that this woman should be threatening to take all this away from you. You've done nothing wrong. Ina? I blinked, taken aback. It's rare to see her lose her temper. In fact, I think she might be the first time I ever seen her genuinely angry. She looks seriously pissed, and I think with a small smile, it's for my sake. Ina's indignation doesn't change my situation any, but it is reassuring. It's nice to know that she cares so much. Thanks for caring. It's appreciated. Well, of course I care. Why wouldn't I? You're my darling, first and foremost, and I don't want to see you suffer. If that woman is serious in the threats, which judging by that what you said, she is, then maybe it would be for the best if I went back to Corval. I'm worried I will continue to cause you problem while residing upon this planet, and I don't want that at all. You're my darling, her, and I love you. If I were to cause you distress simply by being with you, I would never be able to face myself. Love ought to be selfless. If leaving you would be the best option, then I should take it. Even if I'd miss you. Ina sniffs. I miss you horribly. In fact, I don't want to say goodbye to you at all. I love exploring this planet and I love the astronomy club, and I really love being with you. But I'm willing to part with all that for your sake. Just say the word and I will contact my faithful maid Revi and ask her to return me to Corval. What? Oh no. I take Ina by the shoulders, startled at her sudden outburst. Don't feel obligated to leave, Ina. Not now. This isn't what I want. And I doubt it's what you want either. You'd rather stay here, wouldn't you? Yes, I would. Of course I would. I've not lived this planet for very long, but it feels like home to me. Much more than Corval ever did. Spending time here, spending it with you, taught me how much fun life can be. I never ever be so as happy on Corval as I am on Earth. Then don't go back. You can still stay here. We'll find a way to make it work somehow. But your future career is less important than your happiness. It'd be unfortunate, yeah, if I was expelled from university, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. Lots of people wind up dropping out for all sorts of reasons. It wouldn't look very good on my record, but it would be an insurmountable blow. I'd be able to overcome it. I just need to put in even more work. I could get a part-time job and I could continue to look after you. We could stay in Tokyo. My eyes narrow. And if that doesn't pan out, I could always go back to my parents' place out in the countryside. There isn't much there, but we'd be able to save money while I figure out my next course of action. We still have options. But there's no guarantee Professor K will successfully get me expelled, even if she tries to push for it. I don't know how much influence or power she has in the university. For all I know, that could be an empty threat. I can endure it, Ina, if you remain by my side. I want to be strong for you. Oh, darling. and looks at me momentarily breathless. Her lips are pursed in a small ring of surprise, and a pale pink blush spreads across her cheeks. Would you be willing to go to such lengths for my sake? I would, yes. I'm not about to turn my back on you, Ina. Having you in my life has changed it for the better, so I'm going to fight to cling into that. That's not up for debate. Uh, you, you sound so manly when you talk like that. Ina girls, still red-faced. And to think I was getting all worked up, my impassioned pleas were all helpful, I fear. You meanwhile are trying to keep a level head, though you are the one being threatened. You're looking into the future and you're trying to think of me. You're so considerate. This is why you're my darling and nobody else. You are the only human male who can make my cardiac rhythm so very irregular. Is that a good thing? It is a very, very good thing. It proves that you are important to me, darling. Not that this was up for debate. I really do like you. Ina smiles beautifully. Then takes my hand in her own. She gives it a squeeze. The consoling warmth of her palm enveloping me, then says, "What will we do for the present, though, about this situation? I can continue to remain on this planet if you so desire it, but I do not want to cause you any undue stress. Do you think it would be for the best if I kept away from you, from your campus for the foreseeable future? That might make it harder for that woman to watch over me. I'm not sure just yet. I thought matters through with Yori earlier today, but we weren't able to come to a consensus. He said we could talk about it tomorrow. With some luck, we should be able to think of a decent plan between us. Until then, that's the picture." So that was all I have for Sakura Alien 2 this time. So see you next time. Profile.